Hello friends, welcome back to your UPSC. Today we are going to complete the applied part of geomorphology, that is applied geomorphology. So let's get started. So, starting with applied geomorphology, see, in every science subject, okay, in whatever like biology, chemistry, physics, or geography we can take, okay, so every science subject has two main aspects of its study. First is systematic and theoretical aspect, okay, where we study its theories, its laws, and the another one is its applied aspect. So in applied aspect, we apply all these laws and these theories in practical, okay? So in the practical life, we are applying these laws. So that is the applied aspect. So this applied aspect looks into usefulness of any branch of knowledge. That is, it identifies and ameliorate the problem faced by the human society and others which are affecting the human society, okay, which arises out of interaction of human activities, geomorphic system and environmental system, okay. So the interaction between human geomorphic activities and environmental studies. So this is what comes in applied aspect of geomorphology. Okay, so here whatever the problems that are based on this are solved by using the knowledge of this branch. Okay, by using the theoretical aspect. Now we will look into various applied aspects in different areas. Okay, so firstly we will look into environmental studies, how environmental studies and applied geomorphology they are interrelated. So all the impacts of all the natural processes that that all the natural processes, they have impact on human activities and human landscape. So this applied geomorphology, it deals with the that impact. Okay, like if there is more of rainfall, okay, so the cultivation will be different, the housing pattern will be different, the culture will be different, the eating pattern will be different, okay, then the one which then the area which is having scanty rainfall. Okay, so this is how the environment it impacts the human life. Okay, and by applied geomorphology we look into the landscape and human activities which are more related to that landscape. Okay, next is manipulative impact of human activities on the natural environmental processes. Okay, so all the environmental processes, they are also impacted by the human activities. Okay, such as if we see like we are doing more of mining, okay, in the area, or if we are doing very much cultivation or excessive cultivation in the area. Okay, so here what will happen, due to excessive use of fertilizers and due to excessive cropping, the nutrition of the soil will be decreased. Okay, so the natural process, that is the rate of nutrition cycle, how the nutrients they are replenished in the soil, back in the soil, okay, they are affected. So this is how human activities also impact the environmental processes. There are various examples for this. Okay, then we have problem arising out of intersection, that is the intersection of human and environment. Okay, so human actually for its economic benefit and other benefits, it impacts, it affects environment. Okay, so there are various problems like when we do excessive mining, we have problem of tectonic activities, they like we have more of earthquake in that area. Next, like for example dams are built on the area. Okay, And these dams, when built on these fault lines, they actually loosen the land much more, okay, because of which the tectonic activities, the rate of tectonic activities, it gets much faster, okay. So this is also one of the effect of human activities, okay. Then we have another impact, like when we do excessive mining, there is a problem of landslide in the neighboring areas. So these are various problems which arises out of their intersection. Now all the remedial measures leading to environmental management, natural disaster reduction, okay, all these are also propounded by the use of applied geomorphology, okay. For example, if we are building dam, we will look into the area, that what sort of area it is, okay. Then the area which is having hard rock is most suited for the building of reservoirs, okay. So this is how we look into the areas, and the amount of mining that we do in the area, that is also controlled by applied geomorphology. So all these activities are looked into by applied geomorphology, okay. Next, potent anthropogenic activities which can accelerate or decelerate the rate of environmental processes, resulting in geo-environmental problems which become detrimental to the human society and other flora and fauna. See, the best example is global warming. Okay, so because of anthropogenic activities, there was a huge use of fuel, fossil fuels, etc., for running of industries during the industrialization age, okay. Now also we are using, everything that we are using is in one way or the other polluting our environment, okay. So these activities that, these all these anthropogenic activities that we are doing, uh, that we perform, okay, these activities, they are detrimental to environment, okay. They actually increases or decrease the rate of process of normal environmental process, okay. Now this environmental process, when it increase or decrease, it affects not only the environment of flora and fauna, it also affects the human society as well, okay, because human society is not a separate thing, okay. Now because of this, what happens is we face a lot of problem, like we have global warming. So global warming is not only affecting the other animals or other plants, it is also affecting the human society, okay. How? Like we are having very much climate change, the temperature is rising very much, we have severe summers, very warm summers, okay, and we have severe cold winters. So the difference of summer temperature is more, seasonal difference is more, okay, it is extreme. So these processes or these anthropogenic activities, they are increasing and decreasing the rate of environmental, normal environmental processes. So these are also looked after by applied geomorphology, okay. So applied geomorphology, when we do sustainable, use sustainable measures that can help both in progress of our society, as well as it will help our environment to replenish. So these activities will help or will solve the problem of, in human society, as well as flora and fauna and other environment, okay. So these activities or this solution is also found by applied geomorphology, okay. Now we will look into another aspect, that is hydrology and also geohydrology. So hydrology and applied geomorphology, they have very close connection. See, all the landscape terrain characteristics are closely related to occurrence, availability, and quality and utilization of usable water for different purpose by man. from the different sources, for example surface water that is found in lake, rivers, etc., and groundwater, etc. Okay, so see, whatever the terrain characteristic is, it is related to occurrence of or availability of usable water. Okay, and this usable water is used for various purposes for man. Okay, so all the purposes are known to us, and they come from different sources. Okay, this usable water, it comes from different sources such as surface water and groundwater, and this is used for human activities. Okay, so these things are looked into by applied geomorphology. Okay, now we have different stratigraphic and lithological zones presents different condition of surface and groundwater. Okay, so look, there are, as we have seen, there are various types of rocks. Okay, so these rocks or stratigraphic and lithological zones, they have different characteristics. Like some of the rocks are very soft, some are hard, some are porous, some are non-porous. Okay, so the surface water or groundwater will be affected by it. Like if we have river flowing, okay, so if we have porous rock, the river will penetrate inside, and on the top we will have less water, but the groundwater will have ample of water in itself. Okay, there will be a large reservoir of groundwater. But if the rock is non-porous, then we will have all the water of the river on the surface. The groundwater table would be low. Okay, so such things are also affected by geomorphologic conditions of the area, and these geomorphological conditions are studied in applied geomorphology. Okay, then like we have, as I told you, if we have porous rocks, so the porous rock, they have holes in them. Okay, so these holes, through these holes, due to our anthropogenic activities, we have various fertilizers and pollutants that are mixed with water without properly being filtered, and because of this what happens is various diseases are caused by this. Okay, and other flora and fauna are also affected by these pollutants. Okay, and such holes, they are located simply by the process of applied geomorphology. Here we use colors. These colors, they detect the, or they determine the hole, or they locate the area of the holes, and we can use sandstone. So the sandstone is, these holes are covered by sandstone, and sandstone is non-porous, because of which these areas, here the pollutants are not allowed to penetrate furthermore, and this water get filtered because of sandstone, because sandstone is a natural filter. Okay, and this sandstone, it filters the water, so the pollutants, they remain on the top, and the fresh water, it goes inside. Okay, but there is another thing, like we have, if we have a porous area, then as I told you, the water will penetrate, the rate of penetration of water will be more, and as the rate of penetration of water will be more, there will be a rich groundwater reserve in the area. Okay, so the location of rich groundwater reserves is also done in applied geomorphology. Next we have, for infrastructural location, like if we are putting a reservoir. Okay, so if the reservoir is constructed, if it is constructed in the area where it is, where like we have limestone, then this area is not suitable for dams and reservoir construction, because here the lot more expensive engineering will be used, which is not feasible for our country. Okay, for India it is not very much feasible, so we need to be reasonable. Okay, next we have studying of landform. So the geomorphic history of the glaciated landscapes, characteristics of different type of glacial deposits and landform characteristics help in searching and determining the water potential of the glacial region. Okay, so like we have various glacial landforms like outwash plain, valley terrains, and intertale deposits, etc. They are supposed to contain abundant groundwater. Okay, and so these groundwaters, okay, like we have in periglacial and interglacial valleys, super. So in these landforms, we can locate abundant groundwater. Okay, so here the applied geomorphology is used for locating these landforms and extracting groundwater for them, which can be used for human. Then aquifers can be constructed if we have groundwater reserve. Okay, so the aquifers are also constructed in the area where we have large groundwater reserves. Then we have a aspect in hydrology that is known as geohydrology. So this geohydrology can be best explained with the example of Indira Gandhi Nahar Pariyojana. Okay, so this INGP is a project launched by government in which the canal was connected in the dry part of Rajasthan. So the canal was constructed, which was connected by Ghaggar River, and this project was to connect the Ghaggar River and the rivers or the underground river system, okay, or the disappearing rivers in the western Rajasthan. So it was to connect them and construct a canal, and this canal can be used for irrigation purpose so that here the agriculture can flourish. But what happened, as they didn't look into the type or quality of soil. Okay, so for few years this project was successful, but later due to waterlogging, this area became the land became more salty, and because of which the salty land became more infertile for any of the vegetation to grow. Okay, so if we would have used the geomorphology in the right manner, then we would have seen the of soil, and we would have forecasted the problem that would come because of this project. Okay, so that was a part of geohydrology. Now at last, the third aspect or the third area where we can see the major impact of applied geomorphology is economic geology. Okay, so the human activities like anything like we can see mining or construction work and other activities. So basically these type of things, they are closely associated with geological structure. Okay, so these structures like geological structures like we have patland, placer deposits, mineral oils, or structural traps where we can extract minerals. Okay, and mining and construction works are also done on them. So first we will look into the example, then we will look how these economic activities are affected by geological structure. So there is Benningham Canyon copper mine, which is in US. So here the mining was done of copper, and this mining was done so extensively that this area became very deep, and because it became very deep, it became landslide prone area. Okay, so because it became landslide prone area, there is a there were various uh, cases of landslides. Okay, and here what happens is the minerals, when they are extracted, tilling dams are formed, okay, which these tilling dams, they comprise of waste minerals which are remained there, okay. So these tilling dams, they overshadowed the area of magma town which is near this mine, okay. Now the problem is, whenever some earthquake, like earthquake of good intensity, like not very low intensity, a moderate intensity earthquake occurs, then this area will be affected by these tilling dams, and this area will be destroyed. So if so, this is how this economic activities, they have deteriorated the environment of the both the areas, okay. Now for human activities, how this applied geomorphology helps. So first, as we know that applied geomorphology, in geomorphology we study rocks, and rocks, there are various types of rocks, and in these rocks only we find minerals like oil and other metals, non-metals, and we have precious metals and precious stones. So these are found in these structures only, okay. So there are various forms of their extraction. First is, we have placer deposits. So the placer deposits are the mixture of heavy metals which represents the aggregates of mineral materials derived through chemical weathering and erosion of the metallic formation, for example gold, diamond, silver, etc. Okay, so there are various placer deposits, 9 placer deposits, which contains precious minerals which have been identified. First is aeolian placers, then we have alluvial placers, then we have residual placers, then basada placers, then beach placers and glacial placers, buried placers, then ancient placers, etc. So these placers, they contain precious metal. Okay, so placers are exactly superficial deposits by the geomorphic agents, okay, from which the precious minerals like gold, silver, etc. are washed. Okay, so the residual placers is formed at C2 due to weathering of rocks, but such placer is economically not significant. Why it is economically not significant? Because if we extract the precious mineral in this placer, so the extraction of the precious metal will be in less quantity and it will not be economically feasible. Okay, so we have weathering residues that transport downslope, that residues that are transported downslope and are deposited in the form of collovium, and these are known as collovium placers. These collovium placers, they generally contain gold. Then we have alluvial placers that are formed due to deposition and weathering of and erosion residues by the fluvial process. So this fluvial process, it contains most world reservoirs of platinum. And then we have other alluvial placers which also contain gold, tin, diamonds. Now basada placers, as we know where they are found in arid areas, and these also contain these precious minerals. Okay. Then we have beach placers which contain gold, diamond, zircon, etc. So likewise, these depositional features, we can locate these placers by the help of geomorphology, and we can use them for our economic purpose. Okay, then we can locate mineral oil. So this mineral oil is found in porous and permeable lithologies having lower layer of impermeable rock. Okay, so like we have sandstone and limestone that provide the ideal condition for its location. So if we have limestone in the upper area, then we have sandstone. So we can find natural mineral oil in this area, okay? And with mineral oil in the top, the area left, we can find natural gas, okay? Then we have weathering and other things which are closely related with the formation of various minerals, okay? For example, we have bauxite mineral which is associated with weathered basaltic laterite surface of peatlands of Ranchi Plateau and Palamau upland in Bihar. So these are all this weathering and deposition, these are geomorphic processes which are related to the availability of minerals, and these minerals are used by human for their economic purpose. So that is how applied geomorphology is affected or is associated with economic geology. Okay, so that was all about applied geomorphology and its important aspects related to UPSC purpose. Okay, so that was all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Let's meet in our next class. Till then, take care and have a nice day.